Welcome to Face Islam, quick reminders for Muslims everywhere, dealing with the subjects that we all face every day. Today I want to talk about halal and haram. These are two opposing words in the Arabic language, and they're something that every Muslim has to deal with. What is halal? What is haram? Let's deal with halal. Halal means it's permissible. You can do it if you like. And you're welcome. Enjoy your life. There it is. It's halal for you if you want to do it. But haram, this is something that's forbidden under normal circumstances. Now I want to qualify that before I go any further, because in Islam sometimes it's impossible or highly unlikely that we can achieve our goal because of circumstances. So when those circumstances go beyond what's normal, then there is something called concession or rukhsa from Allah. So when there is darura, an unusual oppressive circumstance, then there is this rukhsa that Allah gives as a concession that you can override it. Let me give you one example of that right now, inshallah. And that is the order that we have clearly in the Quran not to eat the meat of the pig. Swine is forbidden to the Muslims. I think most people know that. It's also forbidden for the Jews, but here we understand that you don't eat it. Laham khanzir, forbidden for you to eat the meat of the pig. However, in a circumstance where there's no other food to eat, there is a condition here that, well, if you don't do it, you're going to die. The Muslim is allowed at that stage by a concession, rukhsa, that they can eat that meat. They can continue to eat that pork, that meat, until other food is available for them. And as soon as other food is available, they must stop eating that. It's forbidden again. So this is an override, and that's very important for us to understand, because we don't want people to get the idea that Islam is going to put you in some kind of a box or in a fix that you can't get out of. Everything in Islam has an override except one thing. The only thing with no override associated with it is what? And that's the worship of Almighty Allah. La ilaha illallah. There's only one God to worship, and there's no excuse for you to worship anything other than Allah. Now, even if it were something on the outside, somebody putting a gun to your head and saying, I want you to kiss a cross, or I want you to bow down to this statue or something like that, I'm going to blow your head off. Okay, then we have a condition, don't we? That's called darura, and we need rukhsa for this. We need Allah to give us space to stay alive. So can I kiss that cross? Well, if you don't, He blows your head off. I hope you get to go to paradise, but at the same time, whenever we see these conditions, we have to understand that Allah is very merciful and very forgiving. Of course, I'd still ask Allah to forgive me if I had to do something. Even somebody forced me, I'd still say, Allah, you know what was in my heart, but forgive me for any mistake. And that should be the way that I understand this. Now I want to come back to the general understanding of halal and haram. The way it was explained to me in the very beginning, and I've seen this actually come true in my life over these decades, is that there is a general understanding about halal and haram. Everything in the worldly life that we have called hayat dunya, all of these things we can do, we can enjoy, we can, anything. Whatever is out there, do it. Unless you find clear evidence in Islam that forbids it. So everything's halal unless it's haram. Everything's halal unless it's haram. But when it comes to our worship of Allah, our ibadah, as it's called in Arabic, when I want to worship my God, I must not do anything unless I can find the proof or evidence for it. So that means in my worship, it's all haram unless it's halal. And the halal here would be ordained by the Quran in Arabic and the teaching of Muhammad, peace be upon him. Now when I put those two together, the Quran and the teaching of Muhammad, peace be upon him, then I can look and see, okay, can I worship like this? Did he do it? Did it say I could do it? No, then I mustn't do that. But in the life, did he do this or did he do that? I don't have to study everything. I just have to know what he forbid me to do or what Allah forbid me to do. So I could say, well, he never rode a bicycle. Well, he didn't have one, but even if he had one, if he didn't ride it, it doesn't mean I can't ride it because he didn't specifically say don't ride a bicycle. And we understand, too, new inventions like microwave ovens, transportation like airplanes, rocket ships, things like that, computers, Facebook, the internet. All of these things are in the daily life. So unless I find an evidence in Islam saying, no, don't do that, then it's okay. But if it's in the worship, it's not okay unless I find a clear evidence. I want to always check with our scholars about halal and haram too, because obviously you can make mistakes. If you're not sure, check it out. And that's Face Islam. La 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 la.